I'll be sharing with you my most scintillating experience of meeting the most magnetic personality I have ever seen. The world called him, the people of India, they called him rich man's master, sex guru, acharya, Bhagwan, and ultimately Osho. My friend, it was the year 1986 when I was posted in Ahmednagar. I took a trip to Pune to meet him and visit his commune. He had just returned from United States of America after being charge-sheeted and deported by the government of America. Let me tell you, when I met him, the first thought after seeing in my mind was Osho Rajneesh was the most original thinker India has ever produced, the most erudite, most clear headed, and most innovative. He was born with the gift of words, spoken as well as written, is simply amazing. Especially his verbal expression, his convincing power, his reasoning power. It is mesmerizing, bewildering, unimaginable. I feel that we shall never see the like of him for, if not centuries, at least for some many decades to come. Rajneesh gimmickry created a totally false picture of him as a person and a philosopher. High living, very high living, his lifestyle, fleets of Rolls Royce, free sex, frequent changes of titles, Acharya, I said, Bhagwan, Maitri, Buddha, and ultimately Osho. To tell you the fact, my friends, all that of changing titles has got little consequences as far as the persona of Rajneesh was concerned. He has to be judged, I feel, only as a thinker. Although he dubbed as a godman, Rajneesh did not believe in God. God, he said, is the most meaningless word in human language. Neither Jain Mahavira nor the Buddha believed in God. Rajneesh did not believe either. He said that all the religions have reduced the humanity to nothing else but to beggary or beggars, made them beggars. And they call it prayers, they call it worship, they call it rituals. All beautiful names, he said, are given to hide an ugly reality. All beliefs are blind. All beliefs, he said, are false. He was convinced and very bold, courageous in saying time and again against a whole lot of opposition of all the religious scholars of India and even the Western world, that the religions do not let you grow up. Then they only help you to kneel down like a slave before dead statues, rotten scriptures, and primitive philosophies. And he was so bold and courageous. At the age of 20, sitting under a peepal tree, he declared that he knew everything what is worth knowing. and he took a trip to the, firstly moved from his native place Jabalpur, he came to Bombay, and then he came to, started touring the India extensively, debating all the religious people. Then after that he settled, made his commune in Pune. Rajneesh has a very, very unique philosophy, which was, or realization, not even philosophy, I'd say realization. And he was very vocal in expressing things. He did not believe in life after death, after birth. This is the, he proclaimed that this is the only planet we have, and this is the only time we have. So, as a individual, if you want to live a happy life, make the best of the time while you are alive. Get the most of the best of the thing you can get out of it. He said it is impossible for anyone to do justice for any man, I feel that it is impossible to do justice for any person, any scholar, any religious head, or any spiritual leader, any student or his follower, to justify Osho in a few minutes, few hours, or a few words. Rajneesh was unfairly maligned by Indians, bigots, and misinformed by the foreigners subsequently. He was hounded out of India. He then sought asylum in US, where he met the same fate. Egged on by the church delegates, the US administration, headed by Ronald Reagan, ordered his arrest and ultimately deportation. There was a time when no country was willing to accept him. Ultimately, he returned to India and restarted his commune in Pune, where he spent his last days of life. It took a long time for people to realize that Osho had much more to him than being just a crusader against their religion. He was one so unique person that he never contradicted himself. Whatever he said, he stood very candidly and convincingly. It was till date, a man who left this world in 1990, in 58 years of age, born in December 1931. Whatever he used to speak, he never written any book, but whatever he has spoken has been compiled well. There are more than 1,000 books worldwide, and even today they are the best sellers. And all those saints, there are all those preachers, all those motivators. I don't want to name people, anyone you pick up, they do greatest injustice to Osho or Rajneesh by reading his books, by hearing his audios, videos, whole night, and in the morning they narrate the same story by their own name. The original was nobody but Osho. He was against the man-made, any religion, and the conventional morality. He brought his vast knowledge of the world's scriptures and life of saintly men and women to convey his message. What made him different from the other world teacher was that while they made religious subjects boring, Osho made them enjoyable. The present generation has come to acknowledge Osho as one of the greatest minds produced by India. So it is befitting, I feel, on his one of the Independence Day as a celebration, we should also celebrate with the publication of anthology of the articles or on tribute to Osho paid to the spiritual legacy of this country. India, My Love, Fragments of a Golden Past was released by Dr. Manmohan Singh as sanity, as saintly a politician as any India has been since independence. The common notion, my friend, is that Osho preached free sex, which he did and he did not. An excellent example of how he put across his point of view on the subject is available in his books. Osho was the greatest storyteller, and I would say the kind of authority he had on the Mullah Nasruddin stories or anecdotes, there has been nobody else. I remember his one of the story he relates a story of Mullah Nasruddin. He says when Nasruddin was 100 years old and celebrated his centenary, the press reporters asked him, if you had your life to live again, would you commit the same mistake again? Mullah Nasruddin said, I would definitely make those mistakes and I would also make all the others that I was not able to make. That is the only change I would make. In this life, I began making mistakes very late in life. If I were to live my life all over again, I would get an earlier start. Then the reporter asked Mullah, what is the secret of your long life? Nasruddin said, I did not drink until I was 10. I did not smoke and did not touch a girl until then. Except for this, I don't see any other secret for my long life. But if I had another life, I would begin to make even those mistakes a little earlier. Having narrated this story, Osho extols the virtues of brahmacharya, the virtues of being a celibate till the age of 25. Today, in both the East and the West, there are very few people who are really sexually contented, although sex is more open and readily available than it has ever been in the past. Still, very few people are sexually satisfied or sexually fulfilled. The reason, even before the energy and strength for the sex is allowed to accumulate, it is already dissipated. Before the fruit ripens, the root begins to lose their nourishing juices. The fruit is not allowed to really ripen. Fruits that are unripe cannot fall from the tree. But ripe fruits drop naturally, he says. And very truly, very rightly. For the fruit to ripen, he said, nourishment is necessary, and for the life experiences to mature, much energy is needed. This is why for the first 25 years of life, everything is designed for creating and accumulating energy, he said. Come to think of it ever, Osho was not saying anything new on this subject, only re-emphasizing what has been accepted by Indian tradition. When I met him in his commune and spent a day, he had a routine set in for a day. Very seldom he used to give personal audiences, but being an officer, I get a chance to sit with him once and hear his two discourses after that. And he has a system that is called dynamic meditation. Dynamic meditation was nothing but in the backdrop of light music. There were 4 or 5 activities he used to do it for 10 minutes each. First starting with the rapid breathing, then breathing slowly with the closed eyes, and you 10 minutes, then you feel that you're newly born. You open your eyes and jump up and down. You must have seen the video. He's also dancing with hands shaking up and down. 10 minutes, then you sit silently for 10 minutes. Open his eyes, and then, as per him, as per his dynamic meditation, you celebrate your emotions in the last. There is no doubt, there is no denial that Osho was a very unique and a magical personality. His all teachings, there were no teachings actually. Whatever he used to say, it can be, in my understanding, what I have learned, what I've heard, it can be summarized in few dots. Firstly, he prophesied and preached and very candidly debated that there is no God other than life itself. He said, don't listen to anyone, don't believe in any scriptures. Just listen to yourself. One must listen to oneself, a voice from within. Every time he said that love is prayer. Live life he says life is now and here, and you must live in the moment. The present moment is everything. He said you want to never float or superficially rest on the surface. You want to know something? Sink deep. Learn to celebrate death. He also said the reach to the level of nothingness. Realize and understand there is nothing in life. Now these things are very, very non-conventional. Whole lot of humanity has been gone for psychological seasoning for centuries. So suddenly you hear such words and thoughts. It has to be fought unitedly by every religious leaders or the scholars. Let me tell you, my friend, Osho has spoken on so many subjects, so many philosophers, on so many people, even to Lao Tse and Tao, which I assure you and I challenge, I don't think any other saint or a spiritual leader or scholar would even know even the names of those people and those philosophies what he has spoken in detail. He was a unique master, there is no doubt. And he was the most popular, and still till today after his death he is still the most popular and most obviously he remains the most controversial too because of his courageous expressions. He was the person who could have read, who had read more than 1 lakhs of books. He had a personal library, my friend. Very difficult to understand people like Rajneesh. Zahid, किसे सुनाए गली में तेरी गजल, उनके मका का कोई भी दरीचा खुला न था, पत्थर से लग रहे थे कोई रास्ता न था, हम जिस तरफ चले कोई नक्श पा न था. To understand Osho, you have to open the doors of your mind and the heart. Read one of the books and you will find there is no one like him who could have such a reasoning and logical mind. Thank you very much.